There are Saturdays on the college football calendar where the air feels different, where the pressure settles onto programs like a weight they can either lift or collapse under. November 22, 2025, is one of those days. 5 games, 10 picks, and an entire afternoon of identity-defining football. Before we dive into all of it, make sure you're locked in because what you're about to hear isn't just another rundown of numbers. It's a layered look at momentum, matchup dynamics, and the stories unfolding behind every snap. Welcome back to Beyond the Box Score. If you want more of these deep-cut breakdowns, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to stay ahead of the lines, the trends, and the moments that shape the scoreboard. Now let's get into it. The story begins in Columbus, where Rutgers walks straight into the Lions' den against a 10-0 Ohio State team that's tightening its grip on a perfect season. Rutgers sits at 5-5, fighting for bowl eligibility, program stability, and the kind of late-season statement that turns a season from forgettable to unforgettable. Ohio State hunts perfection with a 7-0 conference record, and the moment Rutgers steps into that scarlet-soaked stadium at noon, they know they're staring at a team with overwhelming balance and sharpened purpose. Rutgers brings punch. Ethan Kaliakmanis has thrown for 2,075 yards and 17 touchdowns, supported by Antoine Raymond's 1,000 yards and 11 scores on the ground. KJ Duff adds nearly 1,000 receiving yards, giving Rutgers a 3-layered attack that can stretch defenses vertically and horizontally. But Ohio State responds with star-laced depth. Julian Sayan's 2,675 yards and 25 touchdowns come with astonishing efficiency and an 80.2% completion rate. Bo Jackson churns out tough yards, and Jeremiah Smith punishes every blown coverage with 922 yards and 10 touchdowns. The Buckeyes have speed, discipline, and a defensive front that hits like a closing door. Rutgers has fight, but Ohio State has force. The Scarlet Knights' recent stretch, tight wins, narrow losses, and moments of offensive brilliance, shows competitive spirit but inconsistency. Ohio State, though, has won 5 straight by double digits, ripping through UCLA and Wisconsin with the precision of a playoff contender. This game becomes a duel of 2 quarterback identities. Kaliakmanis, the gritty creator who thrives in chaos, versus Sayan, the cold technician who slices defenses apart. Rutgers can punch. They just can't punch enough. My pick is Ohio State to win, with the game leaning toward scoring bursts and sustained drives, giving us the total over 52.5. From one battle-charged noon kickoff to another, Miami heads into Blacksburg to face a Virginia Tech team that refuses to quit even through a 3-7 season. Miami sits at 8-2, ranked inside the top 15, with a staggering win probability that paints them as a heavy favorite. But football games aren't won by projections, they're won by matchups, and this one puts Miami's surgical passing attack against Virginia Tech's run-centric grind. Carson Beck has been the quiet assassin of the ACC, 2,485 yards, 18 touchdowns, nearly 74% accuracy, and the composure of a veteran who doesn't blink. Mark Fletcher Jr. adds 636 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns, while Malachi Toney's 698 yards gives Miami vertical threat and spacing leverage. Virginia Tech answers with Kyron Drones, the wild card with dual threat ability. His 1,717 passing yards and 16 touchdowns only tell part of the story. The 578 rushing yards reveal the chaos he creates when plays break down. Hawkins adds another 677 on the ground, giving the Hokies a puncher's chance in clock control. But Miami is rolling. The 44-7 beatdown on NC State, the overtime duel with SMU, and a 3-game win streak show a team sharpening toward the finish. Virginia Tech has fought, sometimes painfully, losing heartbreakers by razor-thin margins. They can compete. They just can't close. Beck's efficiency trumps Drone's unpredictability unless Miami collapses in contain. My pick is Miami to win with the total over 46.5 as the Hurricanes pressure Virginia Tech's defense from the first whistle. Then comes the heavyweight clash in Eugene, where USC and Oregon collide with playoff implications dripping off every snap. USC enters at 8-2. Driven by Jaden Maeva's 2,868 yards and 18 touchdowns, and the explosive connection he's built with Mekhi Lemon, who stands at 1,090 receiving yards. King Miller's bruising 7.3 yards per carry adds the balance USC needs to stay unpredictable. Oregon counters with Dante Moore, the conductor of one of the most efficient offenses in the country. Moore's 2,190 yards, 21 touchdowns, and nearly 73% accuracy make him the calm center of a storm that includes Noah Whittington's 623 explosive rushing yards and Dorian Moore's 443 through the air. USC has been surviving close games, winning with resilience and bursts of brilliance. Oregon is punishing teams. The Ducks' dominant wins over Minnesota and Rutgers, combined with their aggressive defensive front, make them one of the most complete teams in the nation. This is a game of quarterbacks, Maeva's timing and layered progressions versus Moore's decisive vertical aggression. It's a game of space, matchups, and whose defense folds first. USC's offense keeps this one alive late, but Oregon's home field rhythm and balanced attack give them the edge. My pick is Oregon to win with the total over 57.5 in a game that feels like a fourth-quarter shootout waiting to erupt. In Nashville, Kentucky and Vanderbilt square off in a matchup where stakes, styles, and pressure crash into each other with season-defining weight. Kentucky sits at 5-5, needing wins for bowl security. Vanderbilt stands at 8-2, pushing for a marquee postseason slot. Cutter Boley leads Kentucky with 1,780 passing yards and 13 touchdowns, while Seth McGowan's 693 rushing yards and 12 scores give the Wildcats a reliable ground engine. But the inconsistency is glaring. Big wins followed by collapses, an offense that can surge one quarter and stall the next. Vanderbilt answers with Diego Pavia, one of the SEC's most dynamic dual-threat quarterbacks. His 2,440 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, and 613 rushing yards make him the engine of an offense that stresses teams vertically, horizontally, and pre-snap mentally. Eli Stowers adds 669 receiving yards, and Vanderbilt's defensive front brings just enough disruption to force Boley into mistakes if Kentucky falls behind the chains. Momentum belongs to Vanderbilt, who has beaten Auburn, Texas, and LSU in high-pressure moments. Kentucky has punch, but Vanderbilt has poise. My pick is Vanderbilt to win with the total going over 51.5 thanks to explosive play potential on both sides. The night closes in Atlanta, where Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech meet in a Top 25 ACC showdown that could ripple through the conference title race. Pitt enters at 7-3 with a gritty identity. Mason Hare's 1,673 yards and 12 touchdowns offer steady control, while Jaquirin Turner and Kenny Johnson give the Panthers multi-level threats with 6 rushing touchdowns and 600 receiving yards respectively. Defensively, Pitt brings heat. Rasheed Biles and Anthony Scott give them a front seven capable of collapsing pockets and forcing quarterbacks into mistakes. But Georgia Tech has transformed Hannes King into a scoring machine. With 2,259 passing yards, 10 touchdowns through the air, and a stunning 14 rushing touchdowns, King has become the most dangerous dual-threat quarterback in the ACC. Hosley adds 625 yards on the ground, and Eric Rivers stretches the field with 516 receiving yards. Georgia Tech's recent form, dominant wins, tight finishes, and a structured speed-based attack, makes them the more complete team down the stretch. Pitt's physicality will force uncomfortable moments, but King's versatility is too much across 4 quarters. My pick is Georgia Tech to win with the total over 58.5 as both offenses find rhythm in a game packed with explosive potential. And there you have it. A full slate with 10 carefully crafted picks and the stories behind why each matchup tilts the way it does. If you want more breakdowns like this, more detailed reads, and more long-form predictions delivered exactly like this every single week, make sure you subscribe to Beyond the Box Score, hit the like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to stay ahead. Drop your picks in the comments, let me know where you agree or disagree, and I'll see you in the next deep dive.